All hail the king. And for Taka. Are we glad? Are we second clap again now? Advance and for brick, Milton rock. Shaker, shaker, shaker. Advance. Brick, hook on floor and get steady. Always set up, set for deliver for. Once double shake again. Shake for deliver for. Living for to the back. Connect the one way in the back. Snap the music, rock alive. Rock and enjoy the music. Chief Taka was missing some few days ago. Finally found home. Chief Taka was missing some few days ago. Finally found home. Finally found. Finally found. Finally found. Oh, oh, oh. Finally found. Finally found. Finally found. I can see the princess and the princess is happy. I can see the cabinet member very happy. I can see the entire Penny clan happy. Cause they finally found Chief Taka. And this new day and a new song. It's a new beginning to the people who are Penny. And for Taka,
un épitome of leadership.
And for Taka,
Development champion.
And for Taka,
Visionary leader.
For Taka,
Man of the people.
And for Taka,
Peace crusader.
And for Taka,
England unity champion.
And for Taka,
Man of justice.
And for Taka,
Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Man of peace. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Man of the people. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Peace crusader.
Pinyan mo top, pinyan mo top, pinyan mo top, pero no nagalo. Pinyan mo top, pinyan mo top, pinyan mo top, pero no nagalo. I can see the princess and the princess is happy. I can see the cabinet member very happy. I can see the entire Penny clan happy. Cause they found young, dynamic and development champion and Muwah Penny.
Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Man of peace.
Man of the people.
Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh.
Chief Taka.
Chief Taka, oh. Man of the people. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Chief Taka, oh. Peace crusader.
Are we glad?
on a new today, with hearts held wide from Uchi diverse embrace, united by the past, descendants linked across the land, our path we trace in this sacred space. Purpose ignites as dreams take flight. Blessings from ancestors guiding us. From this moment we pledge for peace and justice. O Creator, bless our land for the darkest royal reign. We sign in Muwah's love, we abide and swear forever. Ababa pingin matsop, pingine ambiambia.
Our chairperson, I think he's ready now to join us. No other person like Akamanto Gregory, who is all the way from Cameroon. He's an engineer, he's an agro expert. He works with international bodies to fund agricultural products in Cameroon, in West Africa, and in the greater part of Africa as a whole. So he's our chairman tonight. He's in the northwest region of Cameroon, and he will be opening up this launch online and will be telling us what he knows about the book, how he felt about the book, the time where this book has been published. What does it mean to him, to the people that he works with, to Cameroon, to Africa, and to the world? So if our chairman, Akamanto, if you are there, the microphone is yours, and warmly welcome once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Program Director. Thank you, Your Majesty, King Taka, for this wonderful opportunity you have given to me and all the other participants to be part of this eventful book launch. I want to start by thanking God for having inspired you to come up with such a masterpiece. As a matter of fact, when I got this, when I got the information about the book launch and a copy, I said, wow, with all the hustling out there, you still had the time to come up with such a beautiful. I want to actually congratulate you for that and thank all the participants for coming to join us to launch this book. The program director already introduced me to the audience. I'm Muwah Gregory, a development expert based in Bamenda, in the northwest region of Cameroon. And concerning the book, I want to say here clearly that it's a wonderful book. As we all know, the family is a microcosm of the society, be it the community, be it the village, be it the region, province, or the country. So this book is actually applicable to everyone, because with this book you can be able to make peace and harmony to reign in your home. It can help you to make peace and harmony to reign at your job site. It can help you to make peace and harmony to reign in any setting that you find yourself in. And of course, I think the author, with all the
areas. Chairman, you are on. I think your video or your audio should be perfect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Program Director. Thank you very much to all the listeners, the panelists, everybody who has been on since the beginning of this event up till and including this moment. I think it is, if anyone who has been following up this book launch, if you don't actually agree with me that everything has been wonderfully coordinated, a lot of wisdom has been shared amongst all of us, then that person is not serious. And I want to also say here that there is no doubt that there is a lot of harmony in the Muwah Palace or the Muwah royal family, because as we have actually ascertained this evening, for any society to be peaceful, to function normally, then there must be harmony. There must be communication. I mean, effective communication, not just communication, but effective communication. There must be inclusive decision making. And if we go by what we have heard and seen, then we have to use the Muwah royal family as our example for others to emulate. And I want to say here that the author has emphasized a lot on the two pillars of his book. The first one being effective communication, and the second one being inclusive or consensual decision making. Of course, he is not just talking from the air, but he's talking from the experience that he has lived. Being somebody who has actually grown in a polygamous family, which is typical of our royal families, he has lived all these vices that are very common, or that play a very common role in dividing. Of course, amongst his siblings, amongst the wives of his father, amongst the royal family, he has lived all these things. So his writings are not just from the air, but from the practical examples that he has lived, coupled with his exposure to the whole world and the inspiration from other writers. I would like to make particular reference to the Desiderata that is something that all of us know. And I want to conclude by saying here that if by the end of this exercise, we go back to our various homes as we came, without a firm commitment to become the agents of change, that we must have wasted all these hours in vain. And also, we have rubbished all the efforts of the author, that he has spent sleepless nights. He spent a lot of time to put or to come out with this masterpiece that we have been discussing since 6 p.m. South African time. So I want to believe that all of us have taken the commitment to become agents of change. And consequently, we are saying here that we must be in harmony with ourselves beginning. We must ensure that there's harmony within our families. We must ensure that there's harmony within our communities. We must ensure that there's harmony within our villages and clans, within our country or countries, and why not the world at large. And of course, let us not forget that we must also be in harmony with our Creator God. If we can take that firm commitment, then we must have supported His Royal Highness Chief King Taka IV, and we will encourage him to continue with this wonderful job that he has started. As my Easter gift or present to all my management colleagues, I will be getting 25 copies because we are 25 in the management team, so that the doctrine or this, I dare call it gospel, this gospel of harmony reign should extend to every colleague of mine, and I'm sure by extension it will go to their families, and the ripple down effect will continue to go, and everybody will soon become contaminated with the doctrine of harmony reign in 12 days. With that, I want to say thank you to all who have answered present during this book launch and who have stayed on up till and including this moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Program Director.
Wow, wow, wow. A powerful, and drove us our hearts to you, Mr. Chairman. 25 copies, we turn into 250 copies, and of course we transform into 250,000 copies. And one of you, at the end of the program, but we have a very technical part now where we invite the chair lady, Dr. Mrs. Anastasia Buma Ayuk, to come in and give us her own briefs of the book. So, chair lady, you have the floor once more to give us what you think. And this is the legacy, like the Royal Majesty just said, that we need to carry forward for better days. Chair lady, you can see I've been standing for 3 hours, my legs are crying, but because it's a royal kingdom, we are using the spiritual power now to be able to carry on. And I will beg the indulgence to come in and give us a powerful closing remarks of everything that have been said here. And like the mother of the house from Cape Town, the city of everything, righteousness and entrepreneurship and scientifically, you're welcome. I hope your microphone is fine now. Please, you have the floor.
Okay, hello?
Yes, we get you now. Finally, the gods of Africa have heard our cries.
Yeah. Sorry for the technological glitches. Yeah, I'm now using the phone, so...
Yes, we can hear you 4 and 5 minutes.
So thank you.
Good to go.
Yeah, so thank you, moderator, for your diligence in handling this role in such a grand occasion. A lot has been said about the monarchs, and I just want to applaud them for advocating for peace and for making the world a better place through this majestic masterpiece that they have put through. And I just want to thank everyone who made it this evening to grace this grand launch with their presence. We are very grateful. And on my behalf as the chair lady, I want to support this initiative with 10 dozens of harmony reigns.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow.
I want to
10 dozens. 10 dozens.
I want to ask everyone present to be an advocate for peace, to make sure that harmony reigns succeeds to achieve its vision. And I want to remind us that as human beings, we have the social responsibility to make the world a better place. And
Absolutely.
harmony reign is a tool to achieve that goal that we have as a responsibility. So I want to encourage everybody present to at least buy a copy or buy more and distribute to friends, to relatives, to promote peace, because it's much needed in our society. And I also want to pledge that there will be another grand launch in Cape Town, and I will make sure that happens. So look out for the adverts. So I want to thank everybody for coming and thank His Majesty and the Queen. Brilliant initiative to make the world a better place. So thank you everyone for coming, and I hope my utmost wish is that Harmony Reign will succeed to achieve its vision, and may it continue to inspire us and guide us and the world at large to live in harmony. So thank you.
Wow, what can we say? 10 dozens, 120 copies on day one, plus 25 copies, plus dozens of copies, which I can't really do the math at this moment. And more copies will be bought. I think by the end of tonight, we would have sold at least 1,000 copies to begin with. We want to take this opportunity from the Palace of Muwah, from the royal family, the royal majesty, King Taka IV and the Queen, who is still with us, and the kids and the brothers and the whole kingdom, to say we salute you for having been here with us for 3 hours. We want to create your indulgence that you carry this piece of mantle all over the world. And you are in the August launch of the book Harmony Reigns in 12 Days. It's a compactful book. It is an analytical book. It is an easy to read and understandable book for everybody. Everybody, be it you are a kid, be it you are an adult, be it you are a mature person or somebody of the age. It is a book for you to go deep into yourself and begin to have a rethinking about the life we live in. And introduce the author in the way the tradition will demand, so that the author can welcome us, and then we will therefore break open the platform for discussion. Welcome, and thank you very much for this opportunity to avail yourself here today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, the Managing Director, for this flamboyant introduction. And of course, it warrants the magnitude of this August occasion, the launch of this masterpiece, Harmony Reigns in 12 days. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone here to this magnificent event. As the chairman has alluded, we start by thanking God for the inspiration that has been planted to our majesty to put together this brilliant piece. So we, like the chairman has alluded, it's a book that is very relevant in every sphere of the globe, be it in a primary school, be it in a high school, be it at home. It should be widely promoted. So on that basis, I want to welcome our author to give us more about this masterpiece. So let's welcome His Royal Majesty Muwah to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The author, gracefully, our guidance, traditional personality, who has graced us with this wonderful, eloquent, exceptional piece at this point in time where the world looks very confused. Your Majesty, the microphone, your people, the world, the Pinin community, we can begin we can't even begin to measure the pressure in the Muwah clan right now and the whole of the northern west region. So at this moment, the world is on your feet to listen and to hear you grace. We don't want you to speak too much because you've already spoken through the book. We want you to grace and bless and welcome the world that is in front of us at this moment. Your Royal Highness, the floor is yours.
Program Director, the crew at the studio, the chairman, the chairlady, and all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are on the list of speakers, our guests, the audience, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time this book launch finds you, because it's a global launch of Harmony Reigns in 12 days. The royal secret to a peaceful living. I think the speakers, they've made a synopsis, a diagnosis of what we've inscripted in the book. But I would just want to add that the book, if you look at it, it has a very beautiful cover. The cover is red. You see part of it, there's fire, emerging behind trees. This is an indication that most of us, we grow up in a community where we found ourselves entangled in family discords, community discords, and, even at the national level. If you go around Cameroon, if you go around Africa, around the world, you continue to see discord everywhere. This is something very introspective. We've lived it. I believe you have also lived it. And I believe everyone continues to live it. And therefore, inspired by God Almighty, which I'm thanking Him for giving us, the opportunity to bring this book down. And I think our ancestors, who walked the earth before us, we stand here today to invite everyone around the world, particularly the people of Cameroon, the people of the Northwest, particularly the people of the Pinyin clan, that the purpose for discord was misplaced. And it's time for all of us to come together, unite, and, be on the path of unity. I foresee that unity can reign in our lifetime. Unity can reign in our families, in our communities, in our nations, and everywhere around the world. If we all pick up this book and begin from chapter 1. As you see the chapters of the book, chapter 1 begins with the journey into harmony. So each chapter carefully defines and crafts, causes of discord and solutions to it. And it's set up in, a familiar environment where we use names of actual people, we use actual places around Muwah Palace, around Buchi, around the Pinyin clan, in Cameroon, places around the world. And this did not just end there. To properly immerse myself into various experiences that happen around the world. We took some time out traveling in several places, just to see what actually causes discord, in the north as opposed to the south. And we found out that the reasons were actually very similar. And therefore, today, I invite all of you to come with me, to walk with me together. Let's make it an agenda for peace to reign supreme in our lifetime. You are all welcome to this book launch. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty. For those of you who are just joining us, we are at the very premier launch online. We are joined by millions and millions of people from Cape to Cairo, from the United States down to the Caribbean, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Mediterranean. So we are launching Harmony Reigns. When you pick up this book, or when you got that message, you first begin to look at the words. Harmony is a powerful word of unity. The reign, to be able to be lasting. We're talking about what reigns. Is it peace? Is it love? Is it connection? Is it understanding? And what have you? For those of you who don't know our author very much, I'm going to take a sneak peek of the last page, or the cover, the back of the book. I am an African, he writes. I was born in Muwah village in Pinyin clan. His Royal Majesty Mulutaka is a visionary author of this book that we hold in our hands. He holds a master's degree in business administration from Mankosa, a private international accounting, project management, what have you, institute here in South Africa and all over the world. And in the master's degree, he studied management and innovation. But here he's writing a book about leadership, unity, posterity, and what have you. Before penning his transformative solution, His Majesty traveled extensively, like he said, to India, throughout Europe, the United States, across Africa, immersing himself in studying the ancient and present-day causes of discord in relationships, in communities, in kingdoms, and in nations. This journey, undertaken by the author, fueled his exploration in communication. I could understand a man of numbers, a project manager, a mathematician, an IT guru who had to learn about exploration through travel, now communication, where he strategized now to achieve harmony and being a king for Africa, and how to solve problems like the wise Solomon in the Bible. King Taka's dream shared with his esteemed queen. We say greetings to our Lolo in Washington, D.C., who is online and who will be speaking to us as well. And of course, the kids, the royal blood. In the heart of the narrative, he and the queen envision a united and harmonious community, beginning from Muwah all the way around the world. As an authority and nurturing harmony amongst his people, King Taka seamlessly unfolds a story that underscores the importance of communication, dialogue, unwavering commitment to fostering harmony. And if we have this harmony amongst our people, amongst us, then the world will be a better place. Before we get a conclusion from our chairlady, who by then will have sorted her technical challenges. So, studios, Johannesburg, we are turning straight to the author, who is right here by my left. Your Royal Majesty, we are back to you. And tell us, while we wait for the questions, what are your final words at this juncture of the close of the first launch, knowing that we have thousands and dozens of launches that will come in the nearest future all over the world, as you are a man of the people, a man of culture, and leading the mantle of this very assertive and excellent piece of work. What are your very powerful words? You can take all the time. Your people are listening.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Once more, I extend my appreciation to all the followers who are presently on the Muwah Palace official Facebook page. Again, once more to the technical desk who's made this possible. More especially to the panel, who've read this book or read chapters of this book and making analysis and sharing their own wisdom today. Specifically, and much more thanks to the chairman, whom I personally have interacted with, whom I know in many other forms or shapes. He describes this book as being my own lifestyle. I describe this book as being his own lifestyle. A lot of people will agree with me and actually synchronize the things that he's done, how he carries himself, and his way, of bringing the world together. What do I want to say as my last word? I want to thank the chairlady who is going to come after this. The chairlady and the chairman, they are birds of a feather. I mean, all the speakers, all the listeners, those that spoke from different dimensions, those who spoke from the spiritual realm. I want to say that all the speakers, all the listeners, everyone following is now an ambassador of this book, an ambassador of Harmony Reigns. Harmony Reigns, one of the speakers said 12 days was a lot. They mentioned 5 days. We all agree. Our key focus is that I'm inviting you, listening to me, that will listen to me later, to join me on this journey, to join myself and the Queen on this journey, to take harmony further and ensure that it reigns supreme wherever you are. The chairman said this must start with you. It should start in the household, in the family, in the community. It must go to nations and states. I would like to see a scenario where all these ambassadors of Harmony Reign pick up the mantle, preach this message, as the chairman had mentioned, it being a sermon, or gospel, and ensure that this book gets into hands everywhere around the world, especially where there's conflict, where there will be conflict. so that we can have a better world to live for our children. I quote the chairlady, and Madame Victorine, the author, who mentioned the fact of what comes later. What do we leave as a legacy? It's not just about us. For us today, we are doing what we can, and this is exactly what we are doing to live properly. But the issues that we have grown up to hear and those that we've grown up to observe and see, our children, those that will come after them, may not experience that. I want to encourage everyone to buy this book, to buy even for communities, to buy for schools. And I want to thank all those speakers who initially had said that they will ensure that this book is promoted all over Cameroon, all over Africa, and around the world. We would like to look at this book one day, I and the Queen, I and the royal family, and say that because of our own internal introspection, we are able to take this out to the world, and the world is now a better place. Thank you very much, and mostly importantly for the time that you've spent here with us. It must have been because of the deep-rooted interest, attachment that you attach to harmony. May God bless all of you, and let's all take this book to the world. Over to the chairlady.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty. What can we do without royalty? From Cape to Cairo, to Mesopotamia, across the Caribbean, to the Northern Hemisphere of America.
We are the king of Muwah's place on a new today, with hearts held wide from Bucci, diverse embrace, united by the past, descendants linked across the land, our path we trace in this sacred space. Purpose ignite as dreams take flight. Blessings from ancestors guiding us from the moment we pledge for peace and justice. O Creator, bless our land for the darkest royal reign. We sign in the Muwah's love, we abide and serve forever. Ababa, ingin matsoho, ingine ambiye.
We're going to be listening to one of our fathers who is in Cameroon as we speak. He's a senator, he's a politician, he's a philanthropist, and of course he's a nation builder. Senator Henry Francis is a former member of parliament and current senator of the Republic of Cameroon. He is recognized by dozens of national and international associations. He has traveled the world, he has studied politics and international relations. He is a teacher, he is a mentor, he is a father, he is a grandfather. He is a man of good governance and, of course, African political thought. Coming to the aspect of harmony reigns, he should know better in the political sense of it. Senator, you're welcome. We see the awards that you had. I had a long list, I had to cut it short. You're a former latest peace ambassador and a role model to the youth of the Northwest region of Cameroon, amongst thousands of other awards and, of course, accolades to your name. Welcome, Mr. Senator, and the floor is yours and tell us what does harmony reigns mean to you as a political personality in this capacity.
Well, thank you. I hope you're getting me. And in fact, unfortunate is now I'm actually picking up because I was traveling and had to hurriedly settle and pick up this. Mr. Coordinator, I want to thank you for what you've been doing. And unfortunately, I didn't follow up the previous speakers, whom I respect so much, because I had to go through the list of speakers and I saw a lot of people that are friends, a lot of people that I know, and many that I left in South Africa before joining politics in Cameroon. I'm so honored to be part of this book launch, and I want to thank His Royal Majesty, King Taka IV, for honoring me to be part of this panel. In fact, I knew the king far back, and we've been good friends, and I've been keenly following up his activities and the ceremonies that are being carried out in his kingdom. And in fact, I would say he's a charismatic leader, a custodian of our tradition, whom I respect and honor. He has proven to be an epitome of royalty and an embodiment of a true leader and peace crusader loved by his people. I will say this because following up his activities and reading part of this book, the king is, in fact, what I see in the book, I see the king himself. Because he is just trying to bring out what is in him, which many who are very close to him, while reading this book, will just see that it is in fact who the fun is, and he has just come to express and make other people learn from his experiences, from the way he has been managing his people, whom I know, which I know, in fact, are very, very successful. I had once planned to even come to South Africa when I will see, when there will be time for one of these, those receptions that he usually has with his community, a community that I know have respect for our tradition and our culture. And in fact, you are a traditional ruler like the king. The book Harmony Reigns is, in fact, a replica of his character. A majority of you will know how he's being celebrated. I follow up keenly, and in fact, I was coming to him and say, I admire all what I see. It helps to sell the image of Cameroon, and in fact, sell our rich culture, which is something we must do all to preach, which many who are very close to him, while reading this book, will just see that it is in fact who the fun is, and he has just come to express and make other people learn from his experiences, from the way he has been managing his people, whom I know, which I know, in fact, are very, very successful. I had once planned to even come to South Africa when I will see, when there will be time for one of these, those receptions that he usually has with his community, a community that I know have respect for our tradition and our culture. And in fact, you are a traditional ruler like the king. The book Harmony Reigns is, in fact, a replica of his character. A majority of you will know how he is being celebrated. I follow up keenly, and in fact, I was coming to him and say, I admire all what I see. It helps to sell the image of Cameroon, and in fact, sell our rich culture, which is something we must do all to preserve. Our culture is our identity. And I do wish that other communities should do the same. We have many traditional, many cultural groups in Cameroon. We have different tribes with different cultures. And I think it's high time we need to market them. That is the identity we have. And to me, His Royal Majesty and his community are doing just that. In fact, I may not have much to talk on this day, but I remain very keen and I will really recommend this book, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, the royal secret to peaceful living. We know the world these days has been moving towards conflict. Everywhere there are conflicts. The rate of conflict in families now has escalated. Why? Because of poor communication. Conflicts are coming out in every country, every community. Why? Because of poor communication. And we see in this book, His Royal Highness trying to guide us by saying communication is the best way in solving conflicts. And when I talk like this, I see we are all driven by the conflict in the Northwest and Southwest region of our country, which is in fact affecting all of us. And maybe it is continuing because of what? This aspect of poor communication. Because if it was flowing, I don't think this is where we would have been. Where blood is flowing every day in our regions, people getting displaced every day, people dying of stress, communities all ruined, and in fact, everything that is negative happening to our people. All because of communication, which I want to think that if this book can actually be included in our curriculum to start preparing the youths on how to manage conflict, on how to know that communication is a way of solving problems. Because we need these secrets of peaceful living. It is important, and the world needs this now because the rate of conflict is alarming and is growing in a geometric proportion, which, if not well handled, I'm afraid where we are guiding ourselves to. I want to thank His Royal Majesty for this wonderful initiative, and I think we'll all support him to see that he continues and marketing well. And Your Majesty, I'll not tell a lie. I will try to take this book to certain quarters for it to be looked into. And in fact, I want to appreciate you and the Queen Mother and all your subjects who have been giving you all the respect and honor. And I do pray and wish you a very long life. I'm happy for all the friends I've seen. I just saw Victorine speaking there before me. And in fact, many others, Milton, Dr. Teacher, Solomon, in fact, all of you, I wish you all the best and I pray God bless you. Cameroon is there. We are struggling to breathe, but we pray together that let peace reign, following the advice of His Royal Highness in this book. Thank you, Mr. NC. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, our senator, our parliamentarian. Cameroon is there, like I can quote from you, and we are struggling, but we are getting there. And we are privileged that we're speaking to one of our brothers. I quite remember when I just came to South Africa, I heard how you guys were the pioneers here, and you did a lot of humanity nation building before you left to join politics. And we are happy that you are here there as our eyes and ears. We know that thousands of copies will be bought and circulated because This is the solution that we need in Cameroon, in Ethiopia, and in Gaza. And without much ado, we want to continue to appreciate the work you guys are doing. And we know it's a challenge, but with this book, with thousands of copies that you will purchase because you know where the doors to knock, we are very grateful for having you as one of our speakers. And of course, our coach, mentor, and legend, and what have you. So at this moment, we'll be switching back to the United States of Biden. Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty. For those of you who are just joining us, we are at the very premier launch online. We are joined by millions and millions of people from Cape to Cairo, from the United States down to the Caribbean, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Mediterranean. So we are launching Harmony Reigns. When you pick up this book or when you got that message, you first begin to look at the words. Harmony is a powerful word of unity. The reign, to be able to be lasting. We're talking about what reigns. Is it peace? Is it love? Is it connection? Is it understanding? And what have you? For those of you who don't know our author very much, I'm going to take a sneak peek of the last page or the cover, the back of the book. I am an African, he writes. I was born in Muwah village in Pinin Clan. His Royal Majesty Mulutaka is a visionary author of this book that we hold in our hands. He holds a master's degree in business administration from Mankosa, a private international accounting, project management, what have you, institute here in South Africa and all over the world. And in the master's degree, he studied management and innovation. But yet he's writing a book about leadership, unity, posterity, and what have you. You know? Before penning his transformative solution, His Majesty traveled extensively, like he said, to India, throughout Europe, the United States, across Africa, immersing himself in studying the ancient and present-day causes of discord in relationships, in communities, in kingdoms, and in nations. This journey, undertaken by the author, fueled his exploration in communication. I could understand a man of numbers, a project manager, a mathematician, an IT guru who had to learn about exploration through travel, now communication, where he strategized now to achieve harmony and being a king for Africa and how to solve problems like the wise Solomon in the Bible. King Taka's dream shared with his esteemed queen. We say greetings to our Lolo in Washington, D.C., who is online and who will be speaking to us as well. And of course, the kids, the royal blood. In the heart of the narrative, he and the queen envision a united and harmonious community, beginning from Muwah all the way around the world. As an authority and nurturing harmony amongst his people, King Taka seamlessly unfolds a story that underscores the importance of communication, dialogue, unwavering commitment to fostering harmony. And if we have this harmony amongst our people, amongst us, then the world will be a better place. So our first speaker to grace us with the knowledge of this book is no other person but another scholar, PhD holder, Dr. Ignatius Teacher. He is in Cape Town, South Africa. Let me read you a little bit of what this gentleman is all about. He graduated from Stellenbosch University with a doctorate in language and coordination in the Faculty of Applied Sciences in Cape Peninsula University of Technology. He coordinates a large variety of language initiatives in academics and around the world. He has authored articles, he's written chapters in books, and of course, his literary and literacy drive has taken him to more than 28 countries around the world. He has not only published book chapters, but he heads groups and communities of writers and researchers, not only in applied communication and technological sciences, but he is a scholar par excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, our first innovative speaker for tonight, after the chairman and the chairlady, Dr. Ignatius Teacher. Welcome from Cape Town, the land of Nelson Mandela and all the history that we know. The floor is yours, Dr. Teacher, and welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Program Director. I believe you can hear and see me.
No, we can't see you. Check your camera if it is on. The world needs to see you. The man behind the brain.
My camera is supposed to be on. I should have tested earlier. It requires me to check my settings now, which is something I may not be able to do. Doing so would take up so much time. So unfortunately, you may not be able to see me during this talk. I try to adjust some settings there. Does it change anything?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can continue.
Okay. Unfortunately, you cannot see me, but I can see some of you. So thank you so much, Program Director, and thanks so much for that glowing and kind introduction. Good evening, and good evening especially to His Royal Majesty for Muwah. Good evening, esteemed speakers and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen here present. I am really, really deeply honored to come before you all this evening on this very auspicious occasion, which marks the launch of what promises to be a profoundly influential book around human relations. And my talk, Program Director and King Taka, today would focus mainly on the important object before us, and that is the book. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would, of course, share the disclaimer that what I share tonight is based on the limited knowledge I've gathered from the pieces and sections of the book that I had access to. So we gather here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate the unveiling of Harmony Reigns in 12 days, the royal secrets to peaceful living. And from the excerpts that I had access to, I think it is a remarkable piece of work. In fact, I believe it is a very remarkable piece of work that delves really deep into the crucial role of this important element of human existence, communication, and an element of human existence that I believe nurtures harmony within relationships and communities, and of course nations, and of course the globe. So the discussion we are having today and the discussion that is had in the book is particularly poignant to have at this particular moment. And this is given the fact that we encounter and we experience and we live in a period of widespread strife around the world, and widespread strife that afflicts all sectors of society, from families to communities to states, particularly in Africa, as we are aware of. And we do not want to go listing states in Africa, but we are all aware that so many states in Africa are going through very damaging forms of strife, and regions. And we know regions of the world where there is significant conflict at the present moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, in my humble view, the world is going through what it experiences now, partly, or may I say mainly, due to the absence of wise, thoughtful, empathetic, caring, and most importantly, peace-loving leadership. And peace-loving leadership of the kind that we would all agree is encapsulated in the book that we find before us. So considering these elements I've highlighted, the book, in my view, exemplifies the essence of what we could call royal wisdom. And it illustrates in very, very profound and impactful ways the role of leadership. Of course, wise leadership. And we dare say the absence of such leadership has disastrous consequences on the globe. And we face those consequences as a daily reality. So in my view, the book really underscores communication as a fundamental tool for fostering harmony within our immediate surroundings and beyond. And as has already been mentioned by the chairperson and a few other speakers here, it showcases the author's adeptness at blending what we may call traditional leadership principles with contemporary leadership insights. And this synthesis, and I mean the synthesis of traditional leadership principles and contemporary insights, stands as a true testament to our author's extensive global travels, which he has alluded to, which travels, I can believe, afforded him a very profound understanding of the underlying causes of what we may call discord in the world, disagreement in the world, discord in human relationships, discord in communities, discord in nations. So, ladies and gentlemen, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days offers us what we could see as a beacon of hope in mending what has become the broken societal fabric that we live in. Broken societal fabric that I believe comes mainly from breakdowns in communication and what the book seems to highlight as a deficit in consensual decision making, right? And we see that, we've seen that for generations, not just within our immediate families and communities, but in international spaces where a few nations have taken decisions that were not consensual, and the consequences have been damaging on humanity or on certain nations of the world. So this book stands, in my view, as a blueprint to reinstating harmony through these elements at all levels, from the familiar to the national sphere and beyond. And I believe you all would agree with me that we can be optimistic that the book will truly serve as a catalyst for transforming discord into harmony, for fostering a more cohesive, empathetic, caring society from our immediate families to the society we come from, Pinyin in this case, to our nation, the nation we come from, and of course the nation we have adopted, or nations we have adopted as our homes in the world. So the book, in my view, is really, really central, and the central message of it is an acknowledgement that communication is the cornerstone of all flourishing relationships. And as human beings, all we aspire to and we desire in our existence is relationships that will flourish. And it underscores the importance of mastering key principles that will enable these relationships flourish, right? That will foster unity within communities. And I believe all of this draws significantly from what we could call invaluable royal wisdom that the author comes with, right? So it highlights in very transformative ways the power of dialogue. And we know dialogue is something that we have heard a lot of in so many settings, but it has not materialized into something significant for those who occupy these spaces. Dialogue comes with empathy, right? It comes with inclusivity and seeing each other and seeking to include each other, right? And the book illustrates these elements and how these elements can reshape leadership, how they can reshape communication, how they can reshape decision-making, and result in consensus-driven relationships. And it is important for me as a literary person to perhaps touch on one key element of the book that I picked up, which is the narrative style. And the narrative style of the book, and again, this is from a glimpse of the excerpts that I had access to, is particularly captivating in my view. And it invites me as a reader, it invites you as a reader, it invites those who are going to read this book to envision a leadership that unifies and empowers community. And it does so by narrating the story in the third person. And this is the impression I get from what I read, the pieces I read, that the story of the book is narrated in the third person. And in so doing, the author is made to occupy a central place in the story. In fact, in my view, I see the author becoming a significant character in the story, portraying leadership as what I would see as a servant, planter, and nurturer of the seed of effective communication. So he distances himself from the authorship to become a character who plays this role of a servant, planter, and nurturer of the seed of effective communication and good leadership. And a seed that, in my view, would eventually germinate into harmonious living for those who read this book and for the world. So, in conclusion, not to take up so much time, I would say Harmony Reigns in 12 Days offers us very practical insights for overcoming communication barriers. It advocates for truthful expression, and I really want to highlight this repeated expression in what I could read, truthful expression, because truthfulness is essential to everything in communication. Respectful compromise, and it's not just compromise, but respectful compromise in engagements, right? It highlights the element of empathy, which I mentioned earlier, and attentive listening. So these are very key elements that the book highlights in the sphere of communication. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my very, very firm belief that this book will inspire individuals, it will inspire communities, it will inspire nations, and it will inspire the world to embark on a journey towards harmony, a journey that will be guided by the principles of wise and thoughtful leadership. Wise and thoughtful leadership grounded in humility, because it takes humility to take the positions that have been taken in this book. And with those few words, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for listening. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Wow. What a great one. What a great one. What a great one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the way from Cape Town, our first eloquent speaker, Dr. Ignatius Teacher, he highlighted two things to my knowledge. A leadership of wisdom, which we need to emulate and encapsulate in everything. Like when you watch the TV these days, the United Nations has lost its leadership capabilities, which Harmony Reigns has said can be done in 12 days. You will not see starving children all over Gaza, all over Africa, with all the world God has imbued in their society. So we thank you very much for your communication expertise. You use very high languages, and of course, you descended into narratives, the third person, where you could see the author, His Royal Majesty, in the story. And in future, we hope that the author, you allowed us to do this in a movie, where we actually act it so that people can actually watch. So without much ado, we say greetings to our next eloquent speaker, a researcher par excellence. No other person but Dr. Alison Wee, a physician. She's joining us from the United States of America, if I get my facts correct, which I think I do. And of course, he's somebody who is interested in physician epidemiologist, currently based in Washington. She's driven by the passion to positively transform not only the lives of humans, but to transform the intellectual thinking of society. Okay? She's concerned with the approach on health-related policies. She employs a mixed method approach in research. That is, she collects, consolidates, and communicates evidence essential shaping various facets of policy in science. But out of science, she also helps to narrate the connectivity between human to human philosophy. Her specialty, one of them is an interest in hemato-oncological epidemiology and the strategic landscape of vaccine implementation. As a political analyst, I think I'm in a hospital right now. I think I'm in a theater, in the ICU of knowledge. And doctor, forgive me for pronunciation of your oncology and others, but we do welcome you to this platform and say welcome to the platform from Johannesburg. And please tell us what has resonated with you when you first of all saw the title, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days. The floor is yours, doctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everybody, the panelists, and those who are following us on social media platforms, wherever you're watching us from. And to Your Royal Majesty King Taka, I hail you. I'm excited to be part of the panelists during today's session because this, to me, is an exciting moment for the Muwah people. It's not just for the Muwah people, it's for the Muwah people, for the people of the Northwest region of Cameroon, from where I hail, from Kumbu, and to the bigger, Cameroon community at large. And the reason I say it's exciting to see this moment and to witness it is because traditionally our leaders have been known to be very enlightened people when it comes to wisdom. Many of our leaders have not been perceived as people who are so highly educated to the point where they can pen down their thoughts so well, so eloquently. And I am just impressed and amazed and humbled and blown away by the amazing work that His Royal Majesty King Taka has put together. Writing a book is no small achievement. It is a huge milestone. And to me, it signifies that we are being led these days by traditional rulers who value the customs of our people, who are preservers of the values that we cherish, but also who are educated and who are shining the light on education. I view this book as a call by His Royal Majesty and his Queen to the Muwah people and to our people at large that education and the constant quest for knowledge is a key factor in terms of the way forward for ourselves, for our communities, for our families. Of all the chapters in the book that have resonated with me, and I'm still in the process of fully dissecting the content of this amazing book, but I think what struck me was the chapter that touched around the impact of digital technology in our communities these days. I will begin by highlighting the role that our Queen Mother herself has played in this book, which is so clearly depicted across the pages of this book as you read them. And we see this in this particular chapter because knowing her, she is a lover of technology, she is a lover of advancement, and no wonder we have a king who is thriving because we have an able queen who stands by his side to support his agenda. She is a driver of technology, a driver of innovation. And what amazes me is the fact that our king and his queen do not kick away or shy away from touching on the role of digital transformation in terms of our communication. In fact, they dive so well into this chapter, highlighting the fact that technology as a means of communication can be a powerful tool in terms of how it enables people to connect. And this is, we can see it live right now because here we are on a platform as panelists across the world, some joining online. We are joining in from different parts of the world. Some are based in the global north, some in the south, like different parts of the world, yet we are able to stay connected thanks to this innovation and technology, which our king dives into in his book. However, in this particular chapter as well, our king does a great job of highlighting that despite the strengths that come with technology in ensuring we stay connected, it has its own challenges. around complexities that can come with embracing this technology. And some of these challenges are so clearly described and solutions are proposed in the chapter. I would probably have gone on and on around how exciting this chapter is, but if I do so, I'm going to be taking away the excitement that you would experience actually reading this chapter, seeing the role that the Queen herself has played in driving this innovation and being a catalyst of how digital technology is being used and transforming communication and relationships in the Muwah context and in the larger context for us. And I would invite all of you to get a copy of this book. It's currently available right now on Amazon, and dive into the chapters of this book. It's so exciting. One other thing that strikes me is our king in his writings does not just pen down the knowledge and the wisdom that has been transferred to him from his own dynasty and from his surrounding, but he draws into the existing knowledge from other scholars who have discussed these areas around communication, around technology. So it highlights our king and his queen, not just as people who are preservers of the culture and the values that we so well cherish, but who are also scholars. Writing a book requires you to leverage existing knowledge and to contribute to the growing knowledge in that field. And I was excited to see this clearly depicted in this book. He draws onto the knowledge that has been, already gathered by existing scholars in the field, and he leverages this to write the book and to build upon it for the benefit of the Muwah people and for our own benefit at large. So I think I'm going to just stop there and hand over back to the moderator. But I would like to say a big kudos to our king, His Royal Majesty, King Taka, and to his queen. And a big thank you to those who organized this session, and kudos to the royal family. Thank you.
Thank you, our esteemed doctor in medicines who have put together her understanding of the royal package from the book, and of course the icing on the cake from the Queen's mother's role and contributions. We thank you very much, and I want to take this opportunity to remind our viewers all over the world that the book is already online. It's on Amazon.com for a startup fee of $5. Remember that this is a book of peace, innovation, creative incitement to be able to bring the simple solutions that has evaded the world, right from the United Nations down to the lowest part of international connections of thought. So much so that we should buy a lot of copies, and the aim is to supply free of charge to the underprivileged in Africa in particular. So, ladies and gentlemen, panelists, and those who are joining us, on Amazon.com is $5, which is like 100 rands, which is like about 3,000 CFA. Please, we want you not to buy 1 or 10, we want you to buy in bulk, because we need to share these thousands of copies all over the world. We thank you very much. Start going online and start buying it now, because Harmony Reigns is only one in the world for now. And this is an opportunity for us who are in this platform right now to be able to partake in this gift of knowledge. We have a lot of books in the world. But so at this moment, we'll go back to Johannesburg, where we are. We are hosting to listen to a brother, an expound researcher in his own right, an accountant, a project manager of his own rights, somebody with seasoned knowledge of research, teaching, training, and learning. No other person but Atangcho Milton Taka. He was also born in Pening, and he came to South Africa in the late 90s, where he embarked into project management training. And of course, he built and founded from zero Cambridge Training Institute, which has not only trained thousands of intellectuals from undergraduate to postgraduate and many more, but he is a philanthropist par excellence, and he received an award just a few months ago by a renowned international association for his work to the community as a community builder. Mr. Milton Taka, Atangcho Milton Taka, please tell us what you understand by Harmony Reigns in 12 days. How do you begin to define and to describe and to expound on this very powerful title? Welcome to the platform, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Program Director. All protocols duly observed. It's a privilege to be part of this very special book launch. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished book launch guests from Muwah, where I was born, the Pinyin clan, Northern Zone, Africa, and the globe. It is a distinguished honor and privilege for me tonight to share my thoughts on the incredible book launch by the esteemed His Royal Majesty Muwah. The title of this magnificent literature masterpiece, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, The Royal Secrets to Peaceful Living, speaks volumes about the direction in which our world, and particularly our communities, desperately need to move. In a time where conflict, discord, and division seem to dominate our lives, His Royal Majesty Muwah has purposefully chosen to shed light on the importance of living peacefully. This thought-provoking book provides us with a roadmap to achieve harmony in our personal lives first, communities, and ultimately in the greater global landscape. As we dive into the pages of Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, we are reminded of the power we hold within ourselves to make a positive change. His Royal Majesty Muwah's words serve as a gentle yet firm reminder that unity and peaceful coexistence are not mere illusions, but attainable goals within our reach. This book launch is not just an event to celebrate the publication of another literary work. It is an opportunity for us to collectively reflect upon our individual roles in creating harmonious societies. His Royal Majesty Muwah's message resonates with all of us, urging us to embrace compassion, empathy, and understanding towards one another. Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, a dialogue with the Queen and the villagers, challenges us to break down the barriers that separate us, be it race, religion, generational, or culture, and encourages us to find common ground. Through this captivating book, we are reminded that our differences should be celebrated. And it is through these differences that we can learn and grow together. Diversity indeed is a strength. We need to learn to benefit from that. As I leaf through the pages of this thought-provoking masterpiece, I am struck by the author's ability to not only illustrate the challenges we face, but also offer practical solutions to navigate this complex world. His Royal Majesty King Taka IV, insightful, right, prompts introspection and sparks a much-needed dialogue amongst us, inspiring us to redefine our priorities and make peace a central tenet of our lives. In a time when news feeds are filled with stories of strife and conflict, from Ukraine to Palestine to Yugoslavia, His Royal Majesty King Taka's book launch provides a refreshing perspective. It serves as a beacon of hope that offers a way forward, invitation to embark on a journey towards a world where harmony reigns supreme. This book is just $5. The message is pretty clear. It's not about making money. It's about spreading love, spreading harmony, and creating more champions for peace. It is possible for the world to live harmoniously. And I want to use this opportunity in my personal capacity to congratulate His Royal Majesty, congratulate the Queen and all those who've made not only the book writing possible, but this launch to eventually run. I want to thank His Royal Majesty and pray that as many read this book, the principle of choosing to live harmoniously will reign supreme. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our eloquent project personality, Atangtomate in Chaka. And of course, what I could pick from the lot of things he said was to look at harmony reigns as a journey of understanding, a journey of prospective communication, and of course, dialogue. So therefore, we now come back to one of our own, who is also still in South Africa, SUMFO, Dr. Peter Ayuk. He's currently the Dean at the Siba Business School in Cape Town, South Africa. He was honored as a SUMFO by our Royal Majesty, the author himself, and I was lucky and blessed to be present in that traditional ceremony. And of course, he's recognized in different philanthropic activities as well as a community builder, fostering good relations among communities. He has not only graduated and lectured more than 5,000 students, but he is a beacon of hope to peace, development, and community development. Dr. Peter Ayuk from Cape Town, the floor is yours, and very much welcome to this platform.
I thank you, Program Director. Good evening. My warm regards to fellow panelists, whatever time of the day that you are joining us. And thank you to Your Royal Majesty for this opportunity. Thank you for this wonderful piece of work. The challenge of speaking after so many brilliant speakers, as we have just heard from my esteemed friend, Dr. Teacher Ignatius, is that they leave you with very little to do or say. And therefore, I would start with an opening remark to say that my initial reflections on the content of the book and its approach, I'm not going to repeat that because I would essentially be paraphrasing what Dr. Teacher Ignatius had shared. And he probably did a much better job being the expert in languages in that field than I would have done. And therefore, I'm going to switch to a plan B, which is I'm going to take a theological perspective. I will focus on a small component of the title, which is 12 days, and more specifically, the number 12. Scripturally, 12 signifies completeness. And I think it's very appropriate. I don't think it was coincidental. I don't think it just happened. In my preview of the book, it came across that, in fact, the inspiration, the conception, and almost everything that happened to put together what we have before us happened over 12 days. Again, as I said, 12 signifying completeness, signifying universality, signifying global perspectives. And I think this is something that lives within the Muwah kingdom. I was introduced as SUMFO, friend to the palace of Muwah. And this is an honor which I always, I never hesitate to remind the current Ifo Muwah. That is an honor that was bestowed on me at a time some 10 years ago when he did not even know that he would be sitting on the throne, because it was done by King Taka III some 10 years ago. And I have therefore had the privilege of witnessing, of journeying with our young king from his inception. And I saw the surprise on his face when he was identified as a successor to the throne. and how that surprise grew gradually onto him accepting that new reality and growing into it with confidence. And we see that authority, that deep understanding of traditional institutions, how it plays out, how he uses it for the common good. Of course, within the book, I think this book becomes a window through which we experience the life and times of His Royal Majesty Ifo Muwah. Somebody, as has been very aptly described by previous speakers, who is steeped in both worlds, the world of our traditional African systems, but also somebody who is very innovative, somebody who is very pro-development, somebody who is very cosmopolitan in his perspective. And therefore, it is no surprise that he does not just give us something, a product that will be wonderful enjoyment when we read through it, but he makes some very strong recommendations. There is a call to action for all of us, whether within the family setting, within our communities, nationally, and in fact, globally, to actually act on what we believe in. And that is refuse to be complacent, refuse to do nothing in the face of injustice, to work towards consensual decision-making, to work toward leadership, to contribute that we have. And I could go on and on and on. I'd like to do two things. The one, greetings, again, an opportunity that has been accorded me today, thanks to the cosmopolitan view of the author in bringing together people across tribes, across religion, and that has accorded me the opportunity to meet, albeit in this electronic platform, with my very first principal when I went to Government High School Manfi in 1981, the Honorable Tassin Tang Lucas. I send you my warm greetings and regard, my dear former principal, and I wish you good health. And again, going back to the significance of the number 12, I would like, it is my fervent wish that as we go into the launching of this book, that we do so in multiples of 12. And having said that, I would like to, and I know that I'm no chair, I'm sitting right next to the chair, one of the chairs for this occasion, but in my personal capacity and on behalf of the communities that I work with, I would like to launch with 24 copies of the book. Thank you and God bless you all.
Is it about 2,000?
Wow.
2,000 copies. That is 24.
A hand of applause. Wow. Thank you. The launch that just kicked in. We thank you, Dr. Sumfo from Cape Town. 2,000 copies. That is why I put my mathematics can still help me here. Should be 24 and going upward. So we thank you very much. And that is, you look at the link below. It's been tagged where you could purchase immediately with any international card. Yes, so you can purchase immediately. The link is right below where you can purchase your book. And like Doctor has done it, Dr. Ayuk, we want to go into dozens because we know the economy is tight, but we, the scholars, the advocates, the creators here, these are experts, all of us in this platform, and we are the privileged one in very high levels. So we want to take this opportunity to say, in your communities, in your NGOs, in your platforms, begin to buy and begin to share. And who knows, this is our own way of living a legacy in this one. So now we are going to DC to meet the Queen. We've heard about the Queen. We've heard about what she's contributed. She's been there and she has been there. So who is the Queen? Her Royal Majesty. She's the wife, of course, of our king, of our author. She was, at the age of 3, she relocated with her parents to Scotland, where she attended Glasgow Primary School. And then she now came back when she found love, royal love and wisdom. And in South Africa, she came back, and of course, from there we know that they got married in 2006. Her inspiration is behind what we have today in our hands. Of course, being our Royal Majesty in 2007, she did her BSc in Yaoundé, Cameroon, and of course completed that with an MSc in the University of Johannesburg, where she furthered her studies at the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa, Johannesburg also, with her PhD, specialized in chemical pathology at the university. And so many other research, like many of our colleagues, she has impacted, and she has read thesis, masters, honors, PhDs, and graduated a lot in her own right. And during her PhD, she specialized in focus on quantifying HIV viral proteins, which is a very, very, very sensitive part of our daily walks of life, HIV, Ebola. So as a scientist, she still understood the communication that needs to be done, being a Royal Majesty, the Queen. Fast forward to today, we can not only say the Queen has traveled Europe, has traveled Africa, but she is a philanthropist herself in mentorship, leadership, and of course, a mom of 3 into the royal blood. Our Queen, if you're hearing us from South Africa, we are privileged that you're joining us tonight, and we know it's only afternoon or morning there, but we know without you, this product will not be possible. Welcome back to Johannesburg Online, and tell us why harmony reigns in 12 days. You should know better. The floor is yours.
My humble greetings. All protocols duly observed. I believe you're hearing me. Wherever you are in this, in this world. Greetings to Royal Majesty, King Taka IV. Greetings to all esteemed speakers, as well as all possible, attendees, listeners out there who are listening to this book launch. We thank you for making the time out to join us today. So coming back to the book, the author came up with the idea of, trying to see how he could pin down or write down all the knowledge that he has acquired, over the years, throughout his journey, to see how he could also give back to the world, to the society, to try and help, bring peace to the world. And I think this is really much needed. I was surprised, to be honest, to which extent he took this project really seriously and to heart. But yes, it's very important. It's a very important topic. Even when it comes to living in harmony or to living peace is really required in all aspects of all spheres of life, not only at the family level, also at the community level, between countries, even speaking for some of us who are in medical field, sciences, research, working on, diseases. These are, it affects the whole globe. People need to be able to speak, to communicate, to work together for the greater good. And this requires being able to live in harmony, being able to communicate at all levels. And I think what I really appreciated in the book was being able to not only, so it's a book that actually also helps in terms of personal growth as well. It helps you to develop some degree of emotional intelligence that is also required when it comes to being able to communicate with people. So I believe that anybody who reads this book it would make a change. It will actually really change you, make you see things differently. It will help you be a better person, to be able to communicate better, to be able to make peace with enemies or, that you might have, see things differently, being able to be more tolerant, be more acceptable of people, acknowledging that we are all different. in one way or another. So being able to accept people, no matter how different they are, living in peace and harmony, with that. Yes, so I have not to say much again. I think most of the speakers have already said quite a lot. I think, yeah, so I would really like to thank the author for putting this wonderful masterpiece together to share with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. What an eloquent way of summarizing everything. We know you have a lot that you've heard and that you want to say, but it's a platform of connectivity, and we thank you, the Queen, for giving us that iceberg of what you think the book came all about. So at this moment, we want to still remind those who are joining us all over the world that we are launching Harmony Reigns in 12 days. It's a book that has been published by our Royal Majesty of Muwah. That on down there on the panel you have the link to purchase 12 and more copies for $5 each copy, so that we could be able to let this information flow across the world, so that as young as 10 years old we begin to grasp this knowledge. Without much ado, we move to our next speaker. And also herself, Victorine Bonshu. I think she should be online in Johannesburg. Yes, I think she should be online in Johannesburg. Victorine Bonshu is a mother of 4. She's also an author. She has a master's degree in communication sciences, new media. She's a publisher. She published books for other authors. She's an editor. She's a researcher. Her interest is about parenting and the youth. Okay? She's a finance expert as well. And she's also an expert in sex education. She's one of those few mothers and authors and editors who can boast of having one of the youngest authors as a daughter in Africa and in the world. Tracy Fu. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, the expert in involved parenting, the expert in sex education, the woman who has written books, amongst which is Discipline, Involved Parenting, and Trapped in the Shadows. Victorine Bonshu, with all honors and due respect, the floor is yours. And tell us what hit you first when you saw the title, Harmony Reigns in 12 days. Curious.
Yeah, good evening to everybody. Good morning, good day. Royal greetings to everybody, those from the palace and those from outside and those from beside the palace. Let me tell the Royal Highness that I'm very honored that he had chosen me amongst the esteemed speakers today, because harmony is a very important topic for most of us who are dealing with issues that are real in society. But again, I want to say to him, as much as everybody has appreciated this book, I'm a bit saddened that it doesn't have an aspect of sex. Can you guys laugh? At least those are cool faces I can see. Can you smile? People, do some favor to this talk. McKevin, why is your face so heavy? Smile. Yes, Dr. Wing, I can see you smiling. That's good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Harmony. I think when I looked at the book, the first thing that struck me, when I got the invitation, the first thing that struck me was that, at last he did it. Because this leader is a young man that I've known for a very long time in South Africa, and I've known him to be a people's person. It was no surprise to me that he became the leader of his clan, because he actually had those qualities, young as he was back in the days. So a book of this nature actually just goes back to cement the qualities that he has exhibited in Johannesburg. And I speak first class, for he has been there for my family and myself. And when the Queen Mother came to join him, they had been there for us. So I was also very thrilled to see that it's a book that was written hand in hand by the couple, the royal couple. My perspective of the book threw me to the chapter that talks about intergeneration, that talks about handing down to the next generation. Because I believe in intergenerational communication, but more so, I believe in handing down to our children. Maybe because of my parenting work, or maybe because of my background, where I found that there was a lot of vacuum. There was a lot of vacuum between my parents and myself, between my grandparents and myself and my siblings, in the way that things were done, both traditionally and even socially, you know. So that chapter particularly pricked something in me. And I want to say to the readers, it's very important that although we would look at harmony as something that we need today for the daily living, it is also very pertinent that we look at it as a bond that that would be required tomorrow by our children and their own grandchildren. But looking at it is a very mild word, because what I want to say is that we should actually impact in our children the ability to understand that harmony is not just in communication. Harmony is not just in behavior. Harmony is in character. As the book has said in that chapter, it's in the characteristics that we take, that we exhibit in the things we do, but that we hand over also to the generations that would come after us. I think for me, the book touches on the fact that you cannot promote, you cannot encourage, you cannot implement harmony if you do not know your values, if you do not know who you are. Coming from a royal community or a royal family is actually a way of saying to us, who are you? As you read the book, it's very important that you understand who you are, you understand your values, you understand your identity. Because as parents, which I assume every single of us here are biological or not, we cannot raise our children and impact in them the values that we don't know in ourselves. I recently became a very big fan of identity, because I found that as a mother, it's very difficult for me to raise my children in South Africa to understand who they are if I do not understand who I am myself. So it's important for me that we, looking at harmony, looking at the journey in the book, introspect, that we each introspect who we are, who our families are, and who we want to raise in the children that we are raising. I actually had some points written down, and I found that most people had spoken what I had to say, and I don't want to go back there. One of the other things that I found from the book is the offering of support, is the offering of teamwork. You know, these are family values. These are family characteristics that we really need to learn. We live in difficult time. We live in distorted environments where we really have to work hard. We really have to be pleasant, look pleasant at all time. But what I want to say is the lesson here is that we should always remember that a family construct is based on the support that we get from each other, that we give to each other. But it's also based on the fact that we should mostly look at each other as a team and try as much as possible to be less judgmental. Not to say we should not be critical. We should be critical of each other, but try to ignore the negative connotations that come with criticism. So just to say to the author and the Queen Mother, congratulations to both of you for the work well done, and to the children, not leaving them out, because without them, I don't think this book would be orientated the way it is. So thank you again for the platform, and encouragement to you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, our seasoned author, mother, sister. Her inspiration inspired us all to write.
When we uproot the seed of discord, graduate with people who continuously show love and sow the seed of harmony, as our author tonight, His Royal Majesty King Muwah Taka. This catalyst, taken by His Royal Majesty Muwah Taka the Fourth in his book entitled Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, highlights the flow of life without friction. When harmony reigns, our kingdoms and kingdoms shine. Our nations enjoy captivating content, arresting visual and strategic prowess to unite, igniting vibrant engagements, conquering challenges, crafting an unraveled success story. I may just depict an icon or an iota of what His Majesty must have put across in this masterpiece, Harmony Reigns. His Majesty actually exemplifies his masterpiece on the royal secrets to a peaceful coexistence and harmony in our contemporary society. Harmony reigns, flows, and allows us to experience a sense of calm and contentment, leading to improved overall emotional well-being. I must have said, to permit me to cap off my Lilliputian input while doving my wildest appreciation to our 21st century Majesty for a well-dignified and inspiring piece of art, which we are savoring today, this evening, in the name. All rules are respected and played by both parties. Then I am sure that the world will be a better place. May your pen never flow dry, Your Royal Majesty. I will end here because we have lots of contributions worldwide. But just to say, I will galvanize the Panunians, the entire world, Africa in particular, to savor this masterpiece to the highest dimension. This is Tanyo Awafo III from the economic capital of United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Thank you very much.
Well spoken, well spoken. I will receive from the economic capital of the UAE, where all the gold and the diamond and the oil is. We want to salute you from there, and we say keep the flag burning, and we know that thousands of copies will be purchased where you'll be able to give back to the underprivileged and of course to spread the news. It is 10 p.m. in South Africa time, at least 9 p.m. in Central Africa. And of course, we are almost to the very the last part of this program where we have our last official speaker, Professor Njobe of the University of Johannesburg. Then we'll have the chair lady to talk to us, and then there will be a question and answer from the author. Then the chairman will round everything up before we bid it a night. So at this moment, who is Professor Njobe? He is a seasoned professor at the University of Johannesburg. He is specialized in food safety in the microtoxins unit, biotechnology and food technology. He did his master's in Nigeria and, of course, his PhD in South Africa, Johannesburg. He has many, many thousands of students under his belt, undergraduate and postgraduate. He was not feeling very well, but he said he couldn't miss this August occasion of a friend of His Majesty and of his brother. So, Prof, we wish you well. I know you're joining us, but don't stress. Just give us the few words that your energy can be able to carry you so that we could put an end to this section, and then we'll listen to the chair lady, then to the chairman, and to the author before we round off. Prof, welcome, and I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Prof, we hear you 5 on 5 all over the world. You are live.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for this wonderful event. I'll round whatever I have to say by thanking especially our man of the moment. I would rather take a different approach in my commentaries as far as this book is concerned. First of all, I've known King Taka the Fourth for quite a while. And I still remember vividly when he was enthroned in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. I realized that it was a very difficult moment for him. First of all, he has been bestowed with a huge responsibility, being a leader, a royal leader for that matter, being part of the community, the Pinyin clan. I could see that he has written this book. I think one of the things that must have motivated him, must have inspired him, was the fact that he actually needed personal growth in order to be able to be empowered so that he can lead the opinion community. And thereon, we could really see how fragile he was. But over time, he actually got inspired by his own people. I think one of the qualities that I also picked from him is that he has that peace-loving leadership skills. And that's why he has brought a lot of development, not only within the Muwah community, but Pinyin as a whole. And I also know very well, because I've been close with the palace, and I know quite a lot of things that have been going on development, but we cannot talk about peace-loving leadership if you are not bringing development into your own community, especially your immediate community. And I've seen that that has grown within the entire Pinyin community. So writing this book is not surprising to me. And for that, I really want to congratulate him. I also want to congratulate the Queen, Muwah, for standing close to the king in order to come up with this. I've listened to a lot of the speakers that have been there before me, and I don't want to really be repeating one and the same thing. One thing that I picked from the content table of the book is the role communication plays, both in intra and inter. We could really see that there are 12 chapters, and from chapter 2 to chapter 7 is all about communication. And one thing that I also picked that was especially the rule, the chapter 2 that our Muwah contributed hugely is about the digital communication in the modern era or the modern age, which has a lot to play when it comes to communication. And we are talking about harmony to reign, and it must go hand in glove with peace. And I think that the leadership that we have in the Muwah community is really playing that great role. I want to also just round up by really saying that the last 2 chapters, which is about teaching the next generation, I'm a teacher, which is chapter 11. I think the education has a very big role to play. This is not going to be an easy task because of the contemporary issues that we have when it comes to where with the society where we are living. And I see that it's going to, if we follow the proper path, follow the book, and read what the content therein, I think that this is really possible. This book is not about the Pinyin community. It's not about Cameroon. I see it Africa benefiting hugely from this particular book. I've learned the other guest speakers recommending the book for as one of the curricula in various schools. I think that is really a huge thing. And we are talking about what I'm also tasking His Royal Highness is that he has concluded this book with chapter 12, which is about the legacy of harmony. I think that the next edition of this book should be more focused on this legacy of harmony with practical examples or testimonies that we have experienced out there in our various communities, that harmony is actually reigning. I just want to seize this opportunity to congratulate once more King Taka IV. I also want to congratulate the Queen. And then I also want to congratulate the entire Pinyin community for making this possible, because at least the King actually took his time. He said it's just 12 days. But the fact that if there was no peace in the palace, I don't think how feasible this would have been possible for a king to actually write such a wonderful book within 12 days. I will be communicating with my university so that we can get several copies. I'm not particularly promising, but it is such a book that will really attract the attention of the university library. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And Mr. Moderator, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Yeah. We could get in your voice that you are not very well, but we thank you for taking the time to join the community. We want to sincerely thank all our guest speakers and those who have joined us for the past 2 to almost 3 hours. I want to say we are coming to the end of the program, but we have a very technical part now where the technical team tells me Solomon Atta is back. Solomon, your turn to come. Is this 12 days of harmony? Is it going to become a movie by your professional output in a few months to come? Tell us.
Good evening, everyone. Is the volume better now?
Absolutely. We get you 5 on 5.
Fantastic. Good evening and greetings to you. My very special greetings to His Majesty, and royal greetings to all the royals on the panel and to all the esteemed members of the panel. I send you my very warm greetings from the City of Gold. Firstly, let me express my gratitude to His Majesty and the royal courts for the honor and the privilege to be part of such an esteemed panel for the launch of this very important, very timely book. My remarks here will be limited specifically to some of the excerpts that I've read, which I was very lucky for His Majesty to have sent to me. And of course, when you're part of such an esteemed panel, it is very possible that some of what you thought would be your remarks would have already been covered by a very large and a very esteemed panel, like I said. Harmony Reigns could be read as the king's way of letting the readers know something from his own lived experience. And I'm sure it is so because most, if not all, of the panelists have commented on the king's generosity of spirit in the way that he leads beyond the community that he is the clan head. From his wisdom, from his environment, the king has spent Harmony Reigns penny down in a fashion that has demonstrated clearly the visionary nature of the king. And in fact, again, almost all of the speakers have mentioned these aspects, that the king is a king amongst his people and beyond. The author carefully chosen both the title and the subtitle that speaks to contemporary times. And the narrative style, as Dr. Teacher spoke on, is one that can be said to be very accessible. So it's almost like some form of storytelling, especially the narrative around how the dream comes to him. It's very storytelling, which makes the work very accessible to a broad range of readers. And I think just the accessibility of the language style will give us a very wide audience sense of enjoyment that they will get from reading it. In my view, it is a timely book in light, or as a light, a beacon of inspiration. His Majesty, in his visionary work, in my view, is an inspirer beyond the ages. So the word inspirer for me is it's a very special word, because my interaction with His Majesty, as I think a comment panelist has mentioned, I think from Yaoundé, if I'm not mistaken, is that he has continuously engaged within the community in a manner that allows him to be able to access his community, and also to continue to gain knowledge and wisdom, and to carefully craft it into this work is telling of the man that he is. The titling of the book in itself demonstrates vision, insights, wisdom of leadership. One is drawn to the list of chapters, because His Majesty did send this to me. And in the list of chapters, one chapter is very captivating, I have to say, the one on active listening. How is active leadership, how he achieves leadership is through active listening to understand. Some leaders have been quoted as saying that what passes as misunderstanding or miscommunication, which is also a key word in the book, is due in part, one could say, to poor listening. So the kind of listening that you listen to respond. But in the book, or in the excerpts that I've read, the concept of active listening is mostly listening to understand. Because when you understand, when you listen to understand, and when you use active listening as a prerequisite, he believes is a prerequisite to harmonious living, which then fosters the broader goal embedded inside the subtitle of Secrets to Peaceful Living. The book is transformative and offers insightful thought leadership for our times and beyond, from the gold-paved streets of Johannesburg to the chariots of the gods at the peak of Mount Fako. So anyone in between these two spaces that I've mentioned, cut across between time, will be able to access the wisdom, the visionary leadership, the inspiration, and the practical applicability of harmonious living through understanding the ideas, the way that harmony reigns is put together, the way that the chapters are aligned. All of that is a beacon for all of us. Harmony reigns also, in my view, speaks to an acknowledgement of perhaps what could be loosely described as, in practice, as Ubuntu, which some of the esteemed panelists have spoken about, which speaks to the concept of I am because you are. In doing so, the book centralizes harmony as a means through which peaceful living can be achieved. So I believe that the book is very timely, like I've mentioned before, like other panelists have also mentioned. The book is, in fact, a practical handbook, considering how much strife, like Dr. Teacher spoken, that we live in our times, that we are living through in our times, from very small units like the family to larger communities like nations or nation states. And I think if this work is used as a practical handbook, using the word harmony as a doing word, as a verb, and perhaps as some form of royal instructions, I think that a lot will be achieved by every reader that reads and then attempts to practice the teachings, the inspiration, the leadership, the insights that are embedded within the two covers of the book. Harmony is an inviting word. It is a doing word. The invitation is to become active listeners. By actively listening to each other within small circles, within communities, the book will produce and leads to peaceful living. And I think that to perhaps conclude my comment is that for my family and my close associates, we will also be ordering 12 copies, which we would prefer perhaps hard copies if these are available, so that we can add our voice and put our soldier to the wheel in making sure that we practice what the King has instructed through the patience and the contributions of the Queen in putting together these inspired words, as I would like to call it, so that it can benefit the community within which the King reigns, and it can benefit beyond that community for all of us. And that all of us, perhaps all of us in the panel, this is an invitation to us to enjoy this privilege in continuously advocating that harmony is perhaps a royal instruction that we ought to take with us. Thank you so much, Program Director, and I apologize for the hitches on the technology around my microphone, and I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to be part of such an esteemed panel. Thank you all.
Thank you, my learned colleague. Thank you for that eloquent, comprehensive roundup. And congratulations, and thank you again for the dozen copies. The Royal Majesty wanted to confirm if you meant 12,000 copies or 12 copies. But of course, we're going to rectify that behind the scene. If you're joining us just now from all over the world, we are in the middle of the launch of Harmony Reigns in 12 days, a book published and written by His Royal Majesty Taka Mulu, the 4th of Muwah Palace, and of course with the help and the support of the Royal Queen and the population of Benin and all over Africa and Cameroon. We say we are very, very humbled to have you following us here in Johannesburg, South Africa, where we are broadcasting from live on Facebook and on Zoom. We want to thank the speakers, the eloquent speakers who have given their insight of the book. And now we move on to one of our own here in Johannesburg, Mr. Kantayim. Mr. Kantayim is a scholar of his own right. He's a seasoned corporate training consultant in project management, in IT, in accounting. He has been there for more than 15 years. He has trained thousands of youth who have built their own startup, who have created their own portfolio. He is here as a consulting personality for Cambridge Institute and many other dozens of other affiliates. Mr. Khan has worked in diverse clients across the SADC region and in Africa, and his portfolio that gives him the drive is to impact knowledge. Mr. Khan, you've impacted knowledge, and knowledge is being spoken about today. 12 days of harmony. What do you have to say about it? Welcome again.
Thank you so much, Program Director, for that wonderful intro you have there for me. I appreciate that. Our able chairpersons. I would also like to honor the book author, King Taka IV. I would like to honor kings because I saw for Mara as part of our panel, and queens like our queen, fathers and mothers and elders, the IT technicians in the background. I also respect you. This would not be possible if you guys were not there in the background. Our esteemed ladies and gentlemen and fellow book lovers, because we're all here because we're all book lovers. You are welcome to this grand launch of Harmony Reigns in 12 days, the secret or the royal secret to peaceful living. I think that title picks all of us, right? I cannot begin to say how much and how proud I am today of who His Royal Majesty King Taka has become. And of course, I will not also continue without acknowledging the contributions of Queen Mezo Taka and the kids throughout this journey. I think we are gathered here today to celebrate the release of this captivating book, and I invite you all to embark on a journey through the heart of Muwah Royal Palace. In fact, when I say on a journey through the Muwah Royal Palace, I am talking about where King Taka delved not just in the theory penned down in this book, because what we have in this book is just the theory, but the practical life that King Taka has applied to bring harmony, to bring justice, and to bring peace, not just in families around him, not just in the Muwah Palace, not just in the Muwah village as a whole, but also in the Pinyin clan. It has been done practically. He always invites us wherever we are, in Johannesburg or wherever he is. He always invites us and tell us to delve into profound skills of active listening and consciousness. That is the key word that goes everywhere he is: active listening and consciousness. It is a skill that lies at the core of fostering harmony and relationships in between or amongst ourselves, all of us, right? Let me delve into this book. I think in the chapters of this enlightened books, I have read most of it. The king, we can witness how the king and the queen, King Taka and Queen Mezo, they explore the exploration of pivotal role of empathy in active listening, a transformative force that breathes life into understanding emotions. And I heard the Queen talks about emotional intelligence. So yes, it breathes life into understanding emotions and building bridges of connections. So through real life examples that we practically see with the king in his daily life that resonate with our own experiences as well, we see how active listening has the power to amend broken hearts. We have seen that, how it reconciles lovers. We have seen how it strengthens the bonds of friendship. The king's wisdom shines through as he unravels the subtle nuance of non-verbal cues, and revealing the potent communication power that lies beyond mere words, just the words that we hear. He puts them in practice. He doesn't just write them, he doesn't just say them, he puts them in practice in his daily life. So practical exercises woven into the narrative invite us all to join in the journey of cultivating the art of active listening, which is what is sounded loudly in this book, and transforming ordinary conversations into harmonies and symphonies of understanding and compassion. So in the dance of communication, which is, if you see the word communication in this book, it's written numerous times. The king proclaims that active listening is the cherished partner that brings harmony to every interaction, turning moments into graceful symphonies that resonate with melody of peace. That is what captured my attention when I went through part of the book. As we immerse ourselves into the pages of Harmony Reigns in 12 days, if you have had the opportunity to either skim and scan or maybe to just browse through, we may be inspired to embrace the transformative power of active listening in our own very lives, fostering deeper connections, nurturing empathy, and building a world where harmony reigns supreme, starting from ourselves, So let us raise our glasses wherever we are, I think, to this remarkable book, to the wisdom that it's imparted in this book, to the promise of more peaceful and harmony world. I am the CEO of Khan E-Varsity, and Khan E-Varsity has got a YouTube channel. I have taken the time and the liberty to summarize this book into a 5-minute video, which I believe the King will be sharing with all of you guys, maybe in the comment section. It is just a 5-minute video that gives you a summary and an overview of the book, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days. When he shares it, you will have a look and you will understand how important it is to capture what the King has said, in 5 minutes. I want to thank you all for joining us on this journey of discovery and enlightenment. I want to share, and cherish and share to harmony. I want us to raise our glasses to love, to cherish, to understanding, cheers to the royal secret to peaceful living, which is enshrined in this book. Long live the King. We pour libations today in honor of the wisdom of our wise ancestors who lived before us. In fact, the gods are wise. Thank you all. Please go to amazon.com/ebooks. If you put in either the King's name or the name of the title of the book, it will pop up. You will buy a copy. You will have fun reading the book. Thank you, Program Director. Thank you for listening, and I welcome you all to Harmony and Peace.
Thank you very much, the wise man. We call him the wise man of project management. He's already done some of the work for those who are very busy, our busy followers who don't have time to be reading. So you can have that audio when you're walking, when you're driving. You just plug it on your Bluetooth, and there you have it. So thank you very much, Mr. Taim. And of course, we know with the following that you have, thousands of copies will come and it will go into the training. And you, of all people, we know that you're going to be part of this project and you will push it. And the world is going to be amazed with the wonderful work that you've been doing across the media.
Keynote address presented by Professor Muwah during the online launch of Harmony Reigns in 12 days, today March 27, 2024. Greetings to everyone gathered in this glorious piece for our book launch. It is an honor and privilege for me to be part of this global event, and I am grateful to King Taka the Foot and his entourage for having thought it necessary to add my input to the illustrious voices on the panel. My reading, understanding, and analysis of this document cannot be separated from the author, his lineage, and what these represent. I wish to highlight 2 actions of Taka the Foot to make my point. Even as he was still settling on the throne, King Taka was already engaging peace overtures for the entire Pin clan. In such cases, as far as I know, the kingmakers and the executives of Pinyin Development Organization (PDO) were charged with the execution. The second encounter concerns my own quarter in Pinyin, that is Makong. We were undertaking a health sensitization campaign to benefit blood pressure and diabetic patients, and the announcement was posted on the clan WhatsApp group, and we were pleasantly surprised that from his palace in South Africa, King Taka the Foot donated a healthy financial package which greatly facilitated the success of that campaign. These two examples testify to the vision of a young leader who is determined to make community peace and healthcare the major vectors of his reign. Very few villages and clans in the Northwest region have endured the negative consequences of colonial violence like Pinyin. And at a time when the clan is witnessing a much anticipated rebirth in socio-cultural consciousness, it is indeed heartwarming to note that personalities like Ifotaka are ready to walk the talks of peace, unity, and development with the people. If Nelson Mandela shocked the world after the horrors of Victor Verster, it was because instead of wielding the bayonet in anticipated the retaliations against the kingmakers of the apartheid regime, he waved a peace plan in actualizing the Rainbow Nation. It is a legacy that challenges every African leader today, with royal, national, and continental, to visit and uphold the principles of togetherness, even within colonial boundaries, that will not make Africa to be strangers in their homeland anymore. Our bioethical wealth is waiting to be activated for this purpose, and this book, which we are celebrating today, constitutes a template for the effective implementation of what it will take for Africa to stop being a charity wasteland. When we talk of Ubuntu as Africans, it should not longer be as part of a reactionary sentimentalization of what empire and colonization did to us. Rather, we should actualize it in the present as part of the Renaissance which the continent and black consciousness as a whole is witnessing. More especially, we should be attentive to how leadership responds to the imperatives of the moment and those of the people. King Taka the Foot has demonstrated convincingly that his royal, national, and international communities are intertwined and can rely on his vision for an abiding future in which we will no longer blame others. However, legitimate our grudge for our own self-induced inability to have involved positively into this challenging moment and the promises of its tomorrows. In other words, the focus of this book is multidimensional and similarly enriching. It speaks to every demographic and expects contributions that will guarantee a healthy harvest. As Africans, rising from what the African American poet Maya Angelou describes as history's shame, we can begin to vindicate ourselves from past and present iniquities by promising our children and their progeny that the era of senseless recriminations is over. That it is time for Africa to rise and showcase her legendary worth for the betterment of humanity, and that leadership is or should be ready to take the first step. Let me conclude with a few comments on three embodying phrases which the back cover of Harmony Reigns. The first relates to the author's determination to divulge his secret to communities worldwide, advocating for harmonious coexistence. Relating this to his worldwide purpose, we are being offered a template for the practical conception and implementation of a global village. Beginning from where we stand, how we brand our rural space indicates the manner in which we are willing to attract the world towards us. and locate our seat on the global roundtable. The second is King Taka's salutary courage to acknowledge his queen, especially because of its significance to gender forms of leadership in pre-colonial Africa. Still relevant today in our kingdoms, unlike the case in even advanced democracies of both East and West. Finally, and continuing from a lineage of great communicators such as the one and only Akamanto Gideon Taka, King Taka's insistence on the importance of communication in fostering communal peace is an imperative ingredient in any discourse of peace and development. Tensions, misunderstandings, and conflict always result from a failure in communication. And His Majesty is reminding us that as long as we sit down and talk with each other, we can never throw stones against one another. This, I submit, is the clarion call from this document, which is invaluable for the reevaluation of why conflicts are increasingly undermining our endeavors for peace and development in rural, national, continental, and international context. And as we write it, we should join the Royal Crusade for peace and development wherever we find ourselves. Thank you very much, Professor Mbu Janu from the University of Bamenda, Cameroon. Thank you all.
My father, my king, and my friend, we are so proud of you. You are the pride of the Muwah dynasty, the Takas dynasty of Muwah village. This book, The Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, The Royal Secret to Peaceful Living, is just you. You have put your character there in writing. Mbe, my father, should be celebrating where he is, for I know when they die, they become spirits. He is happy because he did not make a mistake. He chose the right leader. What you've been doing, Mbe, is what you have put in paper. You are the peace crusader of the Pinyin clan. You have put all you can to maintain peace in Pinyin, to negotiate for peace and harmony in the clan. You've organized meetings. You have sponsored so many activities just to maintain peace. In my family, you've come to settle ancestral conflicts that we never knew that one day we shall sit on the table to discuss and dialogue with some people. You've gone a milestone to do all of that. You've sacrificed a lot to maintain peace in the family, in Muwah village, and the Pinyin clan. Our wish is that many people should learn from your example, they should emulate from your works, to know that peace is goal, harmony living is goal. We are all passing in this world. Everything is vanity. We just owe each other love and to live in harmony. There, in the village, the Muwah village, you have put the widows so comfortable. They look healthier than how they were before you came to power. You put food on their table. You clothe them. You organize them in associations and empower them with businesses. Even the widows of Muwah Palace look so different until at times I ask myself, I even asked them whether they were celebrating my father's death, because they look more beautiful, healthier. They look just like women who live in South Africa, in the Palace South Africa, in Yaoundé, in Washington, in the US. All that because of the comfort you give to them. You've raised their standards. You've made them to overcome the fact that their husband does not live anymore. For a new husband is born and is the fun of Muwah. Chief Taka the Fourth Reform Law. Chief Taka the Fourth. There, all of this is blended with a wife beside you, Queen Genevieve, who to me is your sister, for you posting in the same direction. That is why progress comes your way. Harmony reigns in 12 days can only come from such a couple. And I assure you, as the Bible says, by their fruits, we know them. My mother, the Queen Mother, Mama Helen Taka, who was a lone working woman of the 5 wives my father had. She worked harmony as a primary school teacher and sponsored all children in the palace, and lived in harmony with her mates up to date. She remains their elder sister and their friend. Mbe, you are a piece of gold, cut from a mass of gold. Mbe, my dream is that this kind of character, this peace crusader, that may it extend to the world at large. And I know you've gone to many countries, to India, to Saudi Arabia, to the US, you have friends all over the world. And I know you preach peace and harmony to them. I know this book will go a long way to change so many mentalities. And my wish is that this book be put into school programs so that children should be taught what is in this book in order to check against conflict in the future. This book just timely comes at a time when Cameroon is going through crisis, the Northwest crisis, the Northwest and Southwest crisis, the Northern crisis in the Northern region. Mbe, if this book is read by all Cameroonians, it will give an end to this crisis. Mbe, all I can say is that the Lord Almighty should continue to guide you. Our King Solomon. The Solomon I read in the Bible, I never knew him. But the Bible says that he was the wisest king. I have lived your wisdom, Mbe. You are more than King Solomon to me. And it is in this book that you have inscribed all you are. It is just you. This book, I have gone through this book. I see you in this book. I want to say congratulations, Mbe, and pray that may the Lord continue to lead you.
His Royal Highness, the founder of Muwah village in Being Clan, Santa subdivisions, all the royal family respected, members of the traditional council of Muwah village, all the other dignitaries and protocol respected, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very great honor for me to have this opportunity to be a guest speaker in this book launching titled Harmony Reign in 12 Days. In fact, I want to appreciate the writer, His Royal Highness, the founder of Muwah village, for that kind of an initiative. I've gone through some sections of the book. It is very inspiring, and I believe that our father, the founder, has set a precedent to bring out what was in his spirit for peace and unity to the community of his governance, to the whole of the Cameroon nations, and even the world at large. Peace is a prerequisite. We really need peace now. And that book has set a precedent to try to see how the world can come together, the world population can come together in terms of unity and peace, and particularly the youth. Our youths of today, in all honesty, have lost the value of peace. Before we were growing up, peace was something that was a doctrine, a domestic doctrine from our parents. Any senior persons that you know, that you meet on the way, you just know that you have to give that person a respect. That was a total precedent that we will respect him, but that kind of culture has died off. The love for brotherly love, the community love, the peace love is not more existing again. And I believe that the book Harmony Reigns in 12 Days has brought out some certain qualities which, if taken into serious considerations, will be a wonderful instrument to reform our various sociological institutions. One of the main important issues that I've come to understand very well, and I discovered that His Royal Highness of Muwah village in Pinyin clan was writing this book. He was inspired by ancestors who may have in their ancestral home saw the need of peace, then came in their spirit to inspire him. Because I've come and discovered that I came across so many elements of the book, and I discovered that it is not just a simple book. It is a legacy that the fund has tried to live to impact all community of all ages. The word harmony itself, is a great instrument which is lacking in our society today. The word peace, reuniting. If we look at the situation that we are passing, they're not only in Cameroon, in other world, in Arab world, Europe and America, Asian country, and so on. We really need to reunite under this kind of umbrella to see that everything that we are doing for the sake of peace, for the sake of love, for the sake of harmony. I want to appreciate my father, the founder of Muwah village, His Royal Majesty Mulu Takwa, for the kind of academic inspiration that he's struggling now to give the youth community and even the advanced age community. Ladies and gentlemen, even the ideology of this book, Harmony Reigns in 12 Days, and the Royal Secret to Peaceful Living. The Royal Secret to Peaceful Living, I am going to take a lot of time to read this book because it's very interesting. And I want to say that it's tied in even with the decisions, with instruction of God. It's tied in too with biblical versions. If you look, Romans 12 verse 18, peace is something that is very important. Peace is something that we need seriously. And we want to say that thank you to our Father, His Royal Majesty, the founder of Muwah village. May God continue to help you and guide you. Long live the Muwah community and village. Long live His Royal Majesty, Fond Mulu Taka. Long live Cameroon. Long live academic world. God bless you. God bless you. We are happy to have you.
I salute His Majesty King Mulu Taka IV, traditional ruler of Muwah village in the Pinyin clan. I salute the organizers of this very special groundbreaking virtual launching of King Taka's book titled Harmony Reigns in 12 Days. I'm not a scholar, but the first pages that I could read, the glory of this book, and some pages of this book, pushed me to reading again and again. And you see in the author something that is part of his blood. From thoughts, he has been able to synthesize what is in him to produce it in this form, which can serve as a template, which can serve now as a template to build in peace in families, in villages, in communities. Why not at international level? I see his practical involvement in peace building, stepping from his predecessor, King Njitaka, of blessed memory. I remember the days of the predecessor saying that I don't have enemies, but people have me like enemy. Why not come and we talk over? You must not think the same like I think. You must not reason the same like I reason, but we're bound to live together. And again, I remember he mentioned something saying that there's evolution. There's evolution, that the society is not stagnant. And again, so even cultural evolution is also good. And we are moving from the stages savagery to barbarity, and now we are at a level of civilization. But let me talk here of African civilization at this level, because we should contextualize harmony reign to our own cultural setting or to our own society. Permit me please be a little bit biased and talk about this, talking about thinking internationally but acting locally, using our local realities. And you see this king, the author of the book, practically doing it. I remember as a chairman of the clan council, the Bean clan council, which is Muwah, is one of the villages, where in every instance that was for peace building, should it be sitting, should it be sitting of the kingmakers, should it be sitting of the traditional rulers or the chiefs of the Bean clan, this gentleman, His Majesty will always chip in something, material, financial, to make sure that he's happy, and that was his happiness all the time. I don't doubt what has pushed him to get into this, because he really loved living in harmony with others. And Your Majesty, may I further now suggest that we shouldn't stay at this level. What you have put together for the global community should be taken to our level of the villages, to the level of the families, especially the Bean clan as a case study that I will suggest. And we come out with a template that should serve for sensitization and education, because this is what is lacking. Once the sensitization, then the education takes off, I see it starting from home. See, they say charity begins at home. In general, it should be a template for any rural community to use. Let me end here, since this time frame and others have to contribute, and thank everybody in the global space for being part of this and for also giving me the chance to say a bit of what I've said. Once more, His Majesty and the honorable participants, bye-bye for today.
It is a pleasure for me to make a comment on Harmony Reigns, a book written by King Taka, a leader in his own right. He certainly has a message for us. And here I focus on foundations of communication, and to highlight the fact that we have intrapersonal communication, an occasion during which we reflect and talk to ourselves before reaching out or before capturing a message. Interpersonal communication, when we have an opportunity to talk one-on-one with a person we know. And mass communication, and a book is about mass communication, where the message is given to us and we decode the message differently. But what is critical is that all forms of communication should touch lives, should bring about life transformation. All forms of knowledge and knowledge-based discussions following every message in a book should spill over to all and sundry. Read this book, Harmony Reigns, Darcy Ntang Lucas, writer.
We have our brother McKelvin Ayaba. McKelvin Ayaba should be listening to us, 5 on 5. Yes, McKelvin Ayaba is an ecosystem facilitator. He's an innovator par excellence in ecosystem strategies. He is a top 700 most influential African, digital African connector, a catalyst of entrepreneurship. He's a speaker in many, many forums across Africa and the world. This guy does traveling and speaking for a living. He's an inspiration to bona fide young learned scholars in South Africa and in Africa. He's a CEO of Set Up a Startup. He's a founder and convener of African Startup Ecosystem. He's a man who creates nothing within the youth to build empires, the AI we have today and many others. He's an IT, a project management, and a specialist in that regard. Mark Kevin, the man who travels the world, thank you for touching down that you are in South Africa, you are in Johannesburg at this moment. The ecosystem creator, welcome. Harmony Reigns, what does that mean to you? Tell us. You're welcome.
Hello, my fellow brother Sufri. I think we've come a very long way. Good evening, everyone. To my fellow panelists, those who've spoken before me and those who are still to speak. Today is, when I got the call to ask me if I was in the country or if I would be anywhere where I will have an opportunity to share a few words on this particular day. And I asked a very good friend, His Royal Highness. I said, what is it for? He said, because I'm launching my book. Like, it doesn't matter where I am. If I'm on a plane, I'll surely ask the pilot to wait so that I can share a few words on this day. I'm really not going to talk much about the content of that book because everyone has touched so much on it. But I want to talk about who His Royal Highness was and is. For someone who've come very close to him, for someone that was a schoolmate with His Royal Highness, have defined the art of impossibility. If you know His Royal Highness so well and look at his journey, it just tells that there is nothing impossible. Nothing at all. For some of us who've come a long way with him, who've learned, who've taken advice, who become close, who've done work with him, community engagement. It wasn't a surprise. Our previous speaker said it was a surprise to him, and I think for him when he was bestowed as His Royal Highness of Muwah. For us who know him, it wasn't. Especially the last few years before he was bestowed. But if you knew him 10, 20 years ago and you wonder whether this would have been someone that would have traveled this path, right? Get married to an incredible woman, which I would touch base, and that be this humble guy. And then you will say, don't judge people based on their past. as much as he was very intelligent, but as someone who has the tendency of go-getter. Don't count me out, you know. And someone like me, I think our path keep crossing, whether from community building, from when he was I mean, saw him, came in this country, met him in Hebrew, for those of you who knows Hebrew, where we're all selling, doing business together, to him becoming a certified Microsoft certified systems engineer. 1 year or 2 years down the line, I joined him in his office in Braamfontein and became a Microsoft certified systems engineer myself. He went to ABSA a few years down the line, 2 years down the line, I went to FNB, and our paths keep crossing. And then the next thing was, he was doing his master's in innovation and management. We keep sharing all of this, and here I am. I'm traveling across the continent and beyond, speaking in the space of innovation, entrepreneurship, and management as well. So something has kept us going, and he has always been there. Most of my events, most of my initiative, he makes sure that he's present, and I gave him all that opportunity and that respect to even say a few words at my events, just because he is an inspirational somebody who may have been a schoolmate, but the things he's done in our community, both in South Africa and beyond, both across in Cameroon and beyond, is something that is worth copying. For me, again, there is nothing impossible when it comes with His Royal Highness for what he's achieved. We just saw recently, we talk about Harmony, we talk about impossibility. We just saw a few days ago the new president of Senegal. Who would have thought that in Africa with all of this, who would have thought that we are going to have a 44-year-old who just, who was jailed, who didn't even think that he was going to contest for presidency, he just become the president of one of the biggest nations in Africa. These are the footsteps of people like His Royal Highness. These are the kind of what he instilled dreams. He makes sure that people understand that if you do a good work, if you keep pushing, if you are resilient, if you are consistent, if you put in the work and you believe, it is not impossible. And that is one of the biggest learning that I've learned, and the rest of us should learn as well. But let me look at the story of this young king, and from a purpose of his book. I strongly believe that if I look at this part of the book, which I haven't read thoroughly, you will surely talk about the relationship between the young king and his incredible wife, which one of our speakers mentioned earlier on. Harmony Reign, I will share it as a story from a young African king promised to offer a rich tapestry of themes, including love, partnership, governance, and the pursuit of peace. And I need you to get that, and the pursuit of peace. All set against the vibrant backdrop of African culture and history. Previously, I talked about the culture, and so I talk about the history. There is no two ways that you can define our African culture, our African heritage, if you know who King Taka is, from his journey to how he's conducted himself, to how he's carried his wife, to how he's carried his family, and each and every one. And thanks to this incredible wife, Thank you. I'm so blessed to have been connected with you. I'm so blessed that our paths cross. I'm so blessed that you whenever you see me, you've showed that respect to being a royal wife, but you still humble yourself. You still show that respect. You still believe in us. You still show us the way, and you've taken our palace, our kingdom, our people across the continent. But this narrative of choice not only adds depth to the story, but also celebrate the strengths found in collaboration, like someone said earlier on, both in marriage and the broader context of leading a nation. You have shown us how incredible it is, how easy you've made it so easy that leading a nation in one of those things that we can easily get if we come close to you. If we made you an incredible wife, our mouth. So thank you, my bosom friend. Thank you, the king. Thank you for those of you who don't know, I think he allowed me to call you to call him sir, and that sir would always be. Thank you, Sofri, and the rest of everyone that is there. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. What can we say, McKevin? You are now one of the inspirations of creativity within our populace in South Africa and of course in Africa and across the world. I want to say kudos to the good work, the startup that you're doing. And this book just comes to add to the accolades of the different solutions. So we hope that within your circle, you'll be able to come with the people around you to buy thousands of copies so that we'll be able to solve solutions, because it's a startup and the author says this is just the beginning for many more to come.